Now we'll talk about yet another gait. Okay, so gait is mainly, the what do they call it? A characteristic movement, right? So how a particular patient is moving, and how a particular patient is moving, you can also still use this to be able to, diagnose and say that okay, for this particular patient, this is what is wrong with them. So they call this the scissors gait, okay, also known as a spastic diplegic gait. So it's also a distinctive walking pattern, and it's usually caused by bilateral spasticity of the lower limb. It's often seen in children with cerebral palsy. You can see it in other people too, though. So scissors, the knees are together, the legs are now going into one another. Okay, scissors. So what is the characteristics? Hip and knee flexion. So hips and knee, they remain bent during walking. So leg crossing, so the thighs will now cross, so the knees will now be hitting each other, and the person is taking, taking very, very small steps as if they are wading through water. So toe walking, so feet may be plantar flexed and turn inward due to Achilles tendon shortening. So upper limb is spared, so typically affects the lower limb, and the upper limb probably is just because you're trying to balance. That's why you're now having some abnormal movements in the upper limb. Okay. So pathophysiology is usually caused by upper motor neuron lesion. So it leads to spasticity, hypertonia, and poor voluntary motor control in lower extremities. So it's commonly associated with spastic diplegic cerebral palsy. So other causes include the cerebral palsy, spinal cord injuries, multiple sclerosis, traumatic brain injuries, the rest of it. So clinical significance is it leads to difficulties with movement, and there's increased risk of the patient falling, okay, and having other injuries, with their musculoskeletal system. So management include all those physical therapies, orthotics. You take medications that will relax your muscles, botulinum toxin injections, that one to also to relax the muscles, and sometimes they now have to do some surgeries, to individually, address the cases.